Are we heading for a crash? Let's talk about it.
This isn't me trying to fearmonger, this is just me trying to prepare you. The US economy right now is like a Jenga tower with 18 fucking pieces missing. We are one piece pulled out away from everything just toppling down. AI was responsible for 40% of US GDP growth this past year and 80% of US stock growth. And the manufacturing industry has contracted for 7 consecutive months, while every other economic indicator is saying this is as bad as things have been since 2009. Now, when you have a sentence that says the economy is as bad as it's been since 2009, you are fucked. So again, this is not me fear-mongering, this is just me preparing you. Our economy is in a very bad place. If you have a job, hold on to it with everything you have.
Okay, so not sure if those statistics are 100% accurate. I did not fact check that, but I will say, and I think a lot of you could probably agree with me, times feel a little off right now. I mean, it just doesn't feel like it did 5 years ago, even 8 years ago. I mean, it feels like right now, every time you walk outside or when you have conversations with someone about the economy or cost of living or what's going on, it just doesn't feel right. Like, it feels like if it already hasn't happened, it feels like something's coming. Like something really bad.
So I was right. I was so right. So a few months ago, I was like signaling how it's a little suspicious that there's so many stock buybacks, so many rich people selling stocks off, and then gold being at like an all-time high in terms of price. Not only that, but the cryptocurrency being at all-time highs. And then a few months later, like, it went down, and then there were people in my comment section being like, yeah, you were wrong. Like, no, that's not happening. And now look at where we're at. It's worse than we were a few months ago. So yeah, we are in for some very, 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 very hard times. We are looking at levels of economic collapse that we haven't seen since 2008. So buckle up, people. We're all in this together.
Okay, so like obviously none of us have like a crystal ball that can, let us tell the future and what's going to happen. I mean, hell, for all we know, we could see the economy and stocks actually, cruise even higher for the next couple of years. We have no idea. The main point that I want to make, though, is that you always should be prepared if we go into economic downturn, to a complete economy crash. Now, there's some things I want to talk about later in the video that makes me concerned, and that's the US dollar, but we'll touch on that in a second. But what I'm really wanting to get across is you have to be prepared. We have to be prepared for what could happen. Now, something else that I think is very important to be prepared for is keeping yourself protected online. Now guys, today's video is sponsored by Aura. Now take a look at this. This is an actual 11-page report from a data broker. Every single line is personal information. They've collected addresses, phone numbers, relatives, even financial details, and they sell it to whoever wants it. Data brokers make billions of dollars from this without your consent. And they don't care if that info ends up in the hands of scammers, spammers, or even stalkers. Now that's why Aura exists. Aura identifies the data brokers that are selling your information, automatically removes your data from those sites, and keeps it off. And unlike other services, Aura offers way more for the same price. Like real-time fraud alerts for credit and banking, dark web monitoring, a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and $5 million in identity theft insurance, plus 24/7 US-based support if anything goes wrong. Now you can try Aura for free for 14 days by going to aura.com/JJ. Now in those 2 weeks, Aura will start scrubbing your personal info off those data broker sites without you having to lift a finger. Now I'm not leaving myself vulnerable, and neither should you.
Respectfully, this economy has been cooked ever since people started asking for tips at Starbucks. Your drinks are already like $7. Why are you prompting me to give a tip and then I have to be like, oh no, I don't want a tip? Like I have to click the button in front of their face. And respectfully, I'm not afraid of confrontation. I will click no tip every single time. Unless you give me my drink for free, then I'll tip you and give the money to you yourself because, okay, you looked out, I guess. But I'm not tipping at Jersey Mike's. I'm not tipping at Panera. I'm not tipping at Chipotle. I'm not tipping everywhere unless you're like waiting on me. I'm sorry. Like, I don't understand. Also, I'm congested because I'm allergic to that dang cat. If you don't know, then you don't know. But like, why am I at Caribou Coffee right now and they just asked me to tip and my drink was already $7? I got a grande pumpkin chai. $7. No, you're not gonna get tip.
Yeah, so this isn't quite necessarily talking about an economic crash, but I saw this while I was researching and I wanted to throw this in there because this is one of those things that I think could be a good little monitor to see how the economic times are going and how the economy is doing. I would love to see a comparison of what people were tipping to these coffee companies back in 21, 22, and 23 versus what the tips are now in 24 and 25, because I feel like I see this a lot more as of lately. Now, this is one thing I don't do. I never tip at Starbucks. Like she said, Jersey Mike's. Like when they just like turn your little thing around, or like when you're going through the drive-through. I can't think of anything right now. But like, I feel like when I go, I guess Starbucks, when you go through the drive-through at Starbucks, like, oh, here, let me, here's a few questions, and it's one question. It's like, tip me 25%. No. I literally went through the drive-through and grabbed my coffee from you. Like she said, I'm already paying $5, $6, $7 for this coffee. And I'm being guilty right now, but like I look in the line and I see like at one of my coffee shops I go to a lot, there's always a screen right in front. It's big, bright white screen. You can always see what people are clicking. And I watch. I do. I'm being nosy. And I'm watching to see if people are tipping these coffee. And guys, it shocks me how many people just quickly hit 15, 20, 25% on top of their coffee that's just being made in a matter of minutes. We're talking sometimes $2, $3 extra these people are paying. And think about it, they're doing that every time they're going through that coffee line. Maybe. I mean, I don't know, but it looks like it. Wild. I bet if the economy crashes, those tips are going down even more.
There's a war going on that is wrecking the U.S. economy in a way and at a scale people do not understand. The U.S. dollar is going away. That was, of course, inevitable ultimately because everything dies, including currencies. But that death, that process of death has been accelerated exponentially by the behavior of the Biden administration and the U.S. Congress, particularly the sanctions. And people don't understand what the ramifications of that are. The ramifications are poverty in the United States. Okay. So I just wanted to get to that because I'm coming at this from not a global perspective. I'm coming at it from an American perspective.
Now, I am deeply concerned about the wealth gap in the United States. I've talked about this before, and I'll say it again. I feel like the wealth gap is expanding massively across our nation. You have, the middle class to poor and poverty. Then you have, kind of upper class, I guess would be the new middle. Then you have the kind of upper middle class, which I think is just now turning into the new middle class. And then you have like your ultra wealthy, right? So what I'm seeing and what I feel like people are also feeling is this gap is getting wider. You're having more people being pushed to either, poverty or the poor side. And then you have also your people who are getting richer. Now, the reason for that is for a couple reasons, but one of the points is inflation, right? One of those data points that's causing that is inflation. And the reason that happens is because when you have your people that are more in the poverty-ridden areas or are just living, very poorly, don't make a lot of income, they tend to not be able to put money towards investments, towards assets that are going to grow in value, or they just may not know how to do it, period. Now, you look at the other side, not even the ultra wealthy, but just sometimes the upper middle class, they are funneling their money and their extra reserves into assets. And what happens whenever inflation rises, like it's been doing over the past few years, is that tends to also raise assets prices in value as well, which in return is making the rich richer. That's why it's very, very important to have your finances in order so that you can take in part of investing and hopefully, take part in some of that rise in value of those assets so your net worth can become larger as well. And if you guys don't track your net worth, I highly, highly recommend it. I have a tracker down below if you guys are interested in that. It's a net worth tracker, it's a debt payoff tracker, it's a budget tracker. There's a lot of things you can do in there. It's only $10 on Etsy. You can click that down below if you guys want to check that out. But I think tracking your net worth is very important, because when you do track stuff like that, it tends to go up because you're conscious of it. You see what's happening. And I think that's very, very important to do so that you can take advantage of buying those assets and reaping the rewards as they go up in value. Because the other problem is too, with inflation, it's caused by the amount of money being printed. And I think that's another concern, is our dollar going down even more, to where, I would hate to say it, but the US dollar completely collapsing. Now that would cause a whole nother story. I don't even want to go there. It'd be detrimental to the entire world.
Jamie Dimon is warning us again that an economic crash is coming. He's looking at the patterns, he's looking at the signs, and he sees a total economic meltdown in our future. The reality right now, unfortunately, is that we are about to see an avalanche of bankruptcies in multiple industries. And our entire banking system is propped up on loans to these companies. And so when an auto parts maker goes bankrupt, it destroys the stocks of banks. Western Alliance Bancorporation, Salt Lake City Zions Bancorporation, both of their stocks fell over 10%. And Dimon's concern is that this is not going to be an isolated instance, and I absolutely can see that he is right. People do not have the money to buy these $50,000 cars, which leads these auto parts makers to go bankrupt because people are not buying cars. Right now we have a problem all across the country with new and used cars literally just sitting on the lots because they're all overpriced. In an economy where the US dollar is suffering, our unemployment is at like an all-time high, and people are not doing well. They are keeping their money in their pocket. And that stuff starts to snowball. So as Dimon says, my antenna goes up when things like this happen. I shouldn't say this, but when you see one cockroach, there's probably more. Everyone should be forewarned on this one. And what he is saying is, we are going to see more bankruptcies, and these banks are going to become insolvent. And this isn't even touching on things like the AI bubble and these totally overvalued tech stocks. And that is what a lot of our economy is propped up on right now. So when that actually crashes down, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I'm nervous for that too. Like, I'm nervous for a bank run or banks shutting down like they did back in 08 and 09, and people literally were having trouble pulling their money out of the bank. That's what concerns me. Now, again, I had a conversation, with someone recently about this kind of, and I was just kind of saying, like, listen, stuff happens. But I don't want fear, and I want this expressed to you guys, I don't want fear to keep you off the sidelines, right? Yes, are we maybe heading towards an economic crash? We very well could be. We could. Are we going to have another 2 to 3 years of economic growth? That's not that's not out of the picture either. That could also happen. So the point I'm making here, guys, is to don't let fear stop you from ever doing anything. Me, for example, I probably am more on the side that, like, yes, we are probably going to see some sort of downturn in the next 5 years, I would guess. I don't know when. I don't want to put a prediction because I don't know. But I do think something is going to change within the next 5 years, meaning an economic downturn. Now, when that happens, again, like I said, I don't know. But here's what I'm doing, even though I think that's coming. I'm still investing every single month. I still put money in the stock market. I'm still buying real estate. I'm still investing my hard-earned money, because if I had all that sitting on the sidelines for the past couple years, look at the amount of growth I would have missed out on. And if the stock market may have its ups and downs, but over the long term, over the next 2 to 3 years, the stock market continues to grow, well, then I'm going to miss out on all of that growth as well. That's why it's so important to, no matter what happens, stocks making new all-time highs or stocks continue to go lower, I'm always going to be investing. But to get to that point, You have to have your finances in order. You have to have a nice, large emergency fund. You have to have your consumer debt paid off, or at least your high interest debt paid off. You have to also be working towards something, right? You have to be working towards getting better financially. You don't want to just sit there on the couch watching the news, fearing about the economy and playing, ooh, victim me, I'm never going to get ahead. You can't live like that. That's not the way to get ahead financially and live a great life. It's just not. It's not. So if you guys take anything from this video, take this. Get your finances in order and always be investing, and invest even more when the stock market completely tanks, because that's the best time to buy. And I can guarantee you, and I'll say it on this video or on this channel, if we do see a complete stock market meltdown, I'll let you guys know when I'm doing it, but I will be putting in double the amount if I can, if I'm making money. Double the amount. Well, actually I will, because I have cash also sitting on the sidelines extra that I could use if I need to, but so I'll be putting more in when that time comes, and I'll let you guys know when I'm up in it a little bit.
The economy is so freaking cooked right now. Check out these two things. CNBC comes out today and says that this is the lowest amount of hiring we've seen since 2009. 2009. For those of you that are younger, okay, 2009 was one of the worst times for hiring in the history of America, okay? So we're matching up with that right now. And yes, we already know that we are very, very likely in a recession, but check this out. The CEO of GoFundMe, okay, the CEO comes out and says that crowdfunding groceries is one of the more popular things happening on their app right now. So not only do we have buy now, pay later, people financing their DoorDash orders as one of the more popular options for the younger generation right now, but you have people that are crowdfunding their groceries. Americans are broke from the past 4 years. It's not just what's happening this year. You can't blame this on one president, okay? Americans are broken from years of inflation, and it's starting to show. The recession is going to be very, very real if it's not already in full flex right now.
Yeah, so that's one data point that I'm like really watching closely. And depending on when this video comes out, it should be close to the end of October. Unemployment numbers will be coming out, I believe, shortly after this video comes out. The past 4 months, unemployment has continued to rise by 0.1%. I believe September's numbers were 4.3%. If unemployment increases for the month of October, I'm sorry, I said September numbers. I meant August numbers, and then unemployment numbers for September. When that comes out, if it is another 0.1% higher or even larger, I'm going to start getting even more concerned. As unemployment rises, we are at a higher risk of hitting an even more major recession. Prepare now, people.
We're not even halfway through the day, and I've already seen like 10 videos of people crashing the fuck out because they don't have any money. White people, black people, Hispanic people, blue collar, white collar, college degree, people are fucking struggling. We're struggling. But we can't get our head out of our ass and stop fighting over some bullshit, over who's fucking who, and who wants to be this gender and who wants to be that gender and who voted. Like, bro, we're all in the same fucking boat, man. What the fuck? Everybody's struggling. There's people with college degrees that can't find a job. They've been jobless for months. Degrees are supposed to unlock a successful life, but a lot of these people have no fucking jobs right now. And they're doing Uber and Lyft. I saw a guy over here that he's a mortgage guy. He should be making bank because mortgage people make a lot of money. He's doing Uber Eats and DoorDash after work every day. The fuck is going on? What are we fighting about? What are we really fighting about? Shit is crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts out there. I mean, as a fellow mortgage guy, I mean, yeah, it's like stuff has slowed down a little bit. Now stuff's picking a little bit back up, but we're also in like a weird market in Missouri. Like I feel like a lot of the areas that may be seeing downfalls in mortgage applications, sometimes we may see an uptick just because of our industries and what we have here for jobs and whatnot. But I mean, we're slowing down from what we were in the summer, which is typically the sales cycle of real estate, right? Summer months are real high, starts going in towards the winter, you get lower traffic in the real estate world. So again, something we need to watch.
If tariffs stay where they are now or get any worse, I predict the economy will collapse within a year. And I have a few reasons to back this up. The first is the wealthy are propping up the economy in the stock market right now, as it's been found that over 49% of spending in Q2 is because of consumers who are in the top 10% of income. Meaning, if you make more than $190,000 a year, you are a load-bearing weight on this economy right now, and it's equivalent to 2020 spending. That is thank you to Nick Roboto, who made a video on that topic. Second, property investments are supposed to be considered the safer of some options because they're always supposed to appreciate. Not only do we have more sellers than buyers, as you can see by the major gap, but we also have people searching for help with mortgage. This was 2008, 2009. That was COVID 2020. That in the corner is us. And to top it all off, as of July, the US dollar has decreased in value by 10%. Your dollar is worth 90 cents now. And Morgan Stanley is estimating that by the end of 2026, it will decrease by another 10%, which I think is very gracious of them because I think it's going to happen much, much sooner. And where the tariffs come into play here is they are objectively making things more expensive. They are objectively squeezing out more people who are no longer able to afford things. And the moment the people who are propping the economy up right now start to not want to spend money, we enter the danger zone. We enter the collapse. If this continues in the way that it is going, they have no other option other than to cannibalize each other and monopolize so that they can squeeze out more people and continue to show profits and maintain this house of cards.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary times we live in right now, guys. I mean, that's why I'm always going to hammer this in every video. Make sure you have your finances together. If you are way too much in debt, you need to start working on getting rid of that debt now. Get an emergency fund, pay off your consumer debt, and then start investing. You guys got this.